Well, guys, we're looking at a 35-6 game, which is not too far off from you guys' scoreboard predictions for the entire game, and we're only at the half. So what are we seeing here tonight?
Yeah, for Prince Avenue, we expected Andrew Beard to have a big game. He already has 2 long touchdown runs, and he's really been the driver behind this offense. If you had to pick one guy to be the MVP, it would probably be him. He set up a lot of successful passes as well for these 2 quarterbacks on Prince Avenue, and they've done a great job also at just defending the run. Obviously, we knew Franklin County was going to be a very heavily run offense with the triple option, and really they haven't had anything going besides that last touchdown drive going into the first half.
Yeah, Gunter, you just said it. This Lions team is not a passing team, and it's really showing tonight. They've had a couple of longer passes. They have 4 completions in the first half, but like we talked about in the pregame, they're not going to be close in this game if they can't get the run going, and they haven't been able to get the run going. Prince Avenue has been all over them on the run, and they just can't get through that defensive line. So if I'm Coach Holland, I'm going to give Neve Ware some more touches. We saw him break off a really big kick return in the first half, and that set them up in scoring position. Ultimately, they missed the field goal, so you have to be able to finish on those opportunities, but you got to put your best players forward, and that's Neve Ware. We've seen him have some dynamic plays so far tonight, but he just didn't get a ton of touches in the first half.
Right, so I mean, obviously Prince Avenue's had a fantastic night, and you just kind of touched at it too. What are some potential adjustments you would make?
Yeah, I think they just need to do a better job of reading this defense. They keep trying to run it up the middle, and Ware has that speed, and he's able to break those tackles. If he can get to the edge, he can get around these defenders and break off some bigger runs. Averaging over 8 yards per carry on the season, we haven't seen anything close to that tonight for the Lions.
Yeah, you have to be pretty satisfied if you're Prince Avenue through this first half. Obviously, they've had the run game going. Maybe you try to get the pass game going if there's anything for these 2 guys. Obviously, Ben Musser and Jake Bobo have been splitting time since about the 2nd or 3rd week. But for those guys, maybe you try and take a deep pass. You've got some talented receivers like a CJ Dockery and guys like that can make plays. You know, all these Prince Avenue guys really don't have a lot of receiving yards. As we mentioned, Andrew Beard was their leading receiver coming into this game, so we'll have to see whether they do anything and whether there's any more trickery. We saw that touchdown to Jake Eighth of the center on the passing play there, so we'll see if Prince Avenue keeps their foot on the gas or they choose to maybe take it and become a little bit conservative in the second half.
Of course. Reporter Marco Barkoyak caught up with the coaches pregame. Let's head over to him now. Welcome back to the Friday Night Lights halftime show. Guys, the second half is about ready to start. Do you guys have any closing thoughts before we get going again?
Yeah, I think for Prince Avenue, get Andrew Beard the ball in as many ways as you can. Obviously, he had the punt return touchdown. He had 2 long rushing touchdowns. He's been the X factor for this Prince Avenue offense. See if you can get him involved in the passing game. Obviously, both quarterbacks will be out there for some series in the second half, as we heard from Coach Vandegrift of Prince Avenue, so it'll be interesting to see how he's incorporated into the second half game plan, considering the score and what the approach will be.
Yeah, I think I touched on it a lot. It's just, if the Lions want to stay in this one, they got to get Ware the ball. I don't really see them getting through this Prince Avenue defense, though, and I think my score prediction's holding up pretty nicely, 49-6. It's on pace so far.
That is true. All right, well, the second half is getting ready to start. We will see you back here for the post-game show. I'm your host, Zoe Streeter, joined by Gunter Schroeder and Torrin Smith. We'll see you back here. Welcome to the Friday Night Lights post-game show. I'm your host, Zoe Streeter, joined by my analysts, Gunter Schroeder and Torrin Smith. The score tonight is 56-6, with Prince Avenue coming out extremely dominant. Guys, what did we see tonight?
Yeah, definitely. Prince Avenue really started strong. Andrew Beard was the key to everything tonight. His running game and his punt return touchdown really led the way for Prince Avenue, and they really kind of, worked off of that. Both quarterbacks had a great night too, and they did well to shut down Franklin County's, triple option that they love to run. And we'll hear a little bit more about that from Torrin later, but yeah.
I think we talked about it pregame, and I said it at halftime too. It really relies on if they're able to get through that defensive line of Prince Avenue, and they just were not. They couldn't get anything going downfield. That one touchdown towards the end of the first half, thought there might be a little momentum there, but they came out flat in the second half too, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Yeah, absolutely. With more information on tonight's score, and coming out on top, we have Ion Bakley and Alana Jacob on the sideline. Welcome back to the Friday Night Lights postgame show. Guys, where should we look for Franklin County and Prince Avenue next week?
Yeah, for Prince Avenue, they'll be back at home. 3-0 now in the region, a chance to improve to 4-0 as they host East Jackson. East Jackson, it's been an up and down region slate for them so far. Played a really tough Hebron Christian team in a blowout loss and got back in the win column with the win against Franklin County by 8 points. But if versus scores are anything to go by with these two, it'll be interesting to see whether East Jackson can keep up with Prince Avenue's offense. We saw, obviously, they're a very talented offensive team, put up 56 points. So we'll see whether those guys can do any better against a very talented offense.
Yeah, and for Franklin County, they're back home next week against another region opponent in Hebron Christian Academy. It's going to be a really tough game for them. Hebron is undefeated in region play. Now after this game, Franklin County 0-3 in region play. They really need a win to get back on track. It's going to be a really tough game for them heading back home.
All right, well, that's all we have for you tonight here in Bogart, Georgia. I'm your host, Zoe Streeter, joined by Gunter Schroeder and Torrin Smith, signing off.